My cousin texted, "Drama, your stalker ex just freed from prison and has your address." My entire world, the new life I'd built from scratch, shattered with a single text message. The stalker I put in prison was free, and he already had my address. The evening light was fading outside my Seattle apartment, casting long, menacing shadows across the floor. This place had been my sanctuary, the one spot on earth I thought was safe. But that text made the walls feel like glass, turning my home into a cage with him on the outside, holding the key. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. It was from my cousin, Owen. "Your stalker ex was just released from prison and has your address." For a full 30 seconds, I just stared, unable to process it. Liam. After 3 years, he was out. And somehow, he'd already found me. I'd moved across the country, changed my last name, scrubbed every last trace of my old life from the internet, but none of it mattered. A second text from Owen popped up. "Prison buddy told me. Liam has been planning this for months. Dude's obsessed. You need to run. Now." Suddenly, my apartment felt horribly exposed. Every window was a gaping hole he could climb through. Every shadow felt like a place he could be hiding. I scrambled for my laptop, my fingers fumbling on the keys as I searched for flights, any flight, out of the city. But where could I even go? Where would be far enough that Liam wouldn't just find me again? He'd done it before. 3 years ago, I thought a piece of paper, a restraining order, could protect me. It was a joke. I'd gotten it after he broke into my apartment and hid in my bedroom closet for 6 hours, just waiting for me to get home from work. The memory still crawls under my skin, finding him just sitting on my bed, calmly holding my favorite sweater. The look in his eyes, it wasn't anger. It was something far more terrifying, absolute certainty. He explained, almost gently, how we belonged together, and how I'd understand eventually if I'd just stop fighting it. The police arrested him, but he violated that restraining order 17 times. He'd show up at my job. Follow me to the grocery store. He'd leave these sick little gifts on my car windshield, with notes about how patient he could be. The final straw came when I was out to dinner with friends. Liam had somehow gotten a job as a delivery driver for the sole purpose of walking into that restaurant. He knelt down beside my chair, in front of everyone, and proposed. He held up a ring he'd made from braided plastic bags from the prison commissary, speaking loudly about how our love had survived his temporary absence. For a second, other diners actually thought it was romantic, until they saw the look of pure terror on my face. My friend Maya frantically called 911 while Liam continued his speech about destiny and soulmates. When the cops arrived, he just calmly handed over the ring and told them he understood I needed more time. That's what finally put him away for 3 years. 3 years I used to build a new life here in Seattle, thinking I was finally safe. I called Owen back, my voice trembling. How? How did he get my address? "I don't know everything," he said, his voice tense, but his cellmate said Liam spent the entire 3 years researching you. He had old photos printed out from before you deleted your accounts. Knew your job, your apartment building, even your favorite coffee shop. My stomach plunged. "What photos?" "I deleted everything. Old screenshots. Cached pages. Stuff friends posted years ago and tagged you in." He had a whole system. His cellmate said he thought it was romantic at first, until Liam started talking about how you were just confused and needed to be reminded of what you meant to each other. I looked around my studio apartment, but this time, I saw it through his eyes. Ground floor. Big, exposed windows facing the parking lot. A deadbolt that felt like a joke. One way in, one way out. I'd chosen it because it was affordable, never once thinking about how to defend it. "Owen, I need you to do something for me," I said, my voice hardening. "Call Detective Grant at the Seattle PD, tell her Liam Price was released and has made threats. Tell her my case file needs to be reactivated." "Already did," he said. She's on her way to you now. Relief washed over me, so potent it almost buckled my knees. Detective Grant had handled my original case. She was the one who told me to move, who understood how dangerous Liam really was. 20 minutes later, she was at my door, a uniformed officer by her side. She was in her mid-40s, with short brown hair and this steady, no-nonsense energy that made you feel like, for the first time, a competent adult was in charge. "Owen filled me in," she said, skipping the small talk. "We're treating this as an active threat. Someone dropped the ball on protocol. His release should have triggered an automatic notification to you." While the officer checked my windows and locks, Detective Grant questioned me. Had I seen anything suspicious? Felt like I was being watched? I told her about the weird phone calls I'd been getting all week. An unknown number would call, I'd answer, and there would be silence before they hung up. I'd brushed it off as spam. Now, it felt sinister. The officer's report wasn't good. He called my apartment tactically indefensible. "You can't stay here tonight," Detective Grant said firmly. "We'll set up surveillance, but Liam is smart and he's patient. He'll just wait until he thinks we're gone." "Where am I supposed to go?" "There's a safe house program. It's not the Four Seasons, but it's secure and confidential. Can you pack a bag?" As I threw my life into a suitcase, clothes, my laptop, the pepper spray Detective Grant had given me 3 years ago, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Welcome home, beautiful. I missed you so much." My hands started shaking all over again. I showed the message to Detective Grant. Her expression hardened. "This confirms it. He's actively monitoring you," she said, immediately calling it in. The timing isn't a coincidence. The safe house was an anonymous duplex in a quiet suburb. The woman who ran it, Deborah, had the weary, kind eyes of someone who'd seen it all. She showed me to a small, clean room with bars on the window disguised as decorative ironwork. "We have protocols," she explained, handing me a prepaid burner phone. "No social media. No telling anyone this address. Your personal phone stays off." That first night, I lay awake, listening to every creak of the old house. There were 3 other women there, each of us bound by the same unspoken terror. We didn't share stories, but we didn't have to. We all knew what it felt like to be hunted by someone who claimed to love us. The next morning, Detective Grant called with an update that made my blood run cold. "We found Liam's car parked 3 blocks from your apartment. He was there yesterday afternoon, just watching. And we found something inside." She paused. "Photos of you. Recent ones. Walking to work, at that coffee shop on 5th. Chloe, he's been surveilling you for at least 2 weeks." The sick feeling in my gut twisted into something sharp and painful. He had found me long before Owen's warning. He'd been studying me. "There's more," she said, her voice grim. "We found a journal. He's convinced you're being controlled by other people and that you secretly want to be with him. He's identified several people he considers threats to your relationship." My mouth went dry. What kind of threats?" "Your boss. Your downstairs neighbor. The barista at your coffee shop who knows your name. He has detailed descriptions of them all, and notes about how to remove their influence." The sheer scale of his delusion was staggering. He wasn't just a stalker, he was the hero of his own dark fantasy, and I was the damsel he needed to rescue. That made him infinitely more dangerous. That afternoon, Detective Grant showed up at the safe house with another woman, sharp, intense, with an unmistakable law enforcement aura. "Chloe, this is Agent Russo from the FBI," Grant said. "Liam's case has been elevated to the federal level." Agent Russo sat across from me, her eyes missing nothing. "We've been tracking Liam Price for longer than you might expect," she said, opening a thick file. "This isn't his first victim. My heart just stopped. Liam has a pattern, she continued. He fixates, escalates, gets incarcerated, and uses his prison time to plan his next approach. You're the fourth woman he's targeted over the past 12 years. She showed me their photos. Grace, who had to move to Canada and disappear. Emily, who he found and physically assaulted, leaving her with permanent injuries. And Jessica, who vanished without a trace. They suspect Liam abducted and killed her, but they could never prove it. The room felt like it was closing in. I wasn't special. I was just a type. I was the latest version of an obsession he'd been perfecting for a decade. The good news, Agent Russo said, leaning forward, is that we've learned from the past. We know his methods, his triggers. This time, we're getting ahead of him. But it requires your cooperation with an operation that has some risk. Detective Grant added, we want to use you as bait. The plan was pure, cold terror, but it was also logical. I would return to my life, my apartment, my job, while being watched 24/7 by an undercover task force. When Liam made his move, they would be there to arrest him with enough evidence to put him away forever. He's expecting you to run, Agent Russo explained. When you don't, it will force his hand. His pattern suggests he'll try to make direct contact within 72 hours. And if he gets to me first? I whispered. You'll wear a GPS tracker and a panic button, Detective Grant assured me. Undercover agents will be everywhere. You'll never be alone, even when you feel like you are. That night, I talked to Deborah, the house coordinator. What would you do? I asked her. She looked at me, her gaze steady. I'd ask myself one question. Do I want to spend the rest of my life looking over my shoulder, or do I want to end this for good? Because he's not going to stop. Prison didn't cure him. It just gave him time to plan better. The next morning, I moved back into my apartment. It was now wired with hidden cameras. My new upstairs neighbor was a federal agent. The friendly maintenance man? Also an agent. For 2 days, I lived my life in a surreal bubble of protection. I went to work, got coffee, went to the gym, all while knowing a tactical team was just seconds away. The GPS tracker felt heavy on my wrist, a constant, chilling reminder that I was bait. On the third morning, Agent Russo called. He contacted your landlord last night. Posed as your brother, said he was planning a surprise visit. The endgame was starting. I went to work, my heart hammering against my ribs. I wore the panic button, disguised as a necklace. Around noon, my desk phone rang. It was the receptionist. There's someone here asking for you, she said, her voice professionally calm. Says he's your cousin, Owen. My blood turned to ice. Owen was in California. Liam was in the lobby. 5 floors below me. Tell him I'm in a meeting and to wait, I said, my voice a strained whisper, just as they'd drilled me. I pressed the panic button under my shirt. A tiny vibration confirmed the signal was sent. Tactical team is moving, Agent Russo's voice crackled in my earpiece. Stay exactly where you are. From my window, I saw unmarked cars converging on the building. The receptionist called back. He's asking when you usually leave for the day. Keep him talking, I breathed. Help is on the way. Then, Agent Russo's voice, clear and calm in my ear. Subject is in custody. Repeat, Liam Price is in custody. It's over, Chloe. You can come down. The elevator ride felt like a dream. When the doors opened, I saw him. Liam, in handcuffs, flanked by 2 agents. He looked so normal. Forgettable. And then he saw me, and his face twisted into that terrifying mix of rage and what he truly believed was love. Chloe, he said, as they led him away. You look beautiful. This is just temporary. We're meant to be. I didn't say a word. I just watched them put him in the car, and for the first time in years, I felt a profound, bone-deep sense of peace. Agent Russo walked over. We found weapons in his hotel room. Knives, zip ties. Detailed plans. This was going to escalate to abduction, or worse. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. During the hearing, the judge called his actions a systematic campaign of terror. Recovery was slow. For over a year, therapy was my lifeline, teaching my nervous system that the world wasn't a constant threat. I started dating again, cautiously. I met Noah, a kind man who was patient and didn't try to be my savior. He just listened. A few months ago, I got a letter. It was from Grace, the first woman Liam stalked, 12 years ago. She'd read about the trial. Reading about his conviction, she wrote, felt like being released from a prison I didn't even realize I was still in. For the first time in over a decade, I can stop looking over my shoulder. Thank you for having the courage to end this nightmare for all of us. Her letter was a powerful reminder. By refusing to keep running, I hadn't just saved myself. I'd broken a cycle of violence and maybe, just maybe, saved the women who would have come after me. The scar is still there, but now it feels less like damage and more like strength. It's a terrifying thought, but I had to become the bait to finally be free. Do you think I made the right call, or was the risk just too high? I'm reading all the comments, so let me know what you would have done in my shoes.